Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. So we had some more wind. Did it ever stop? Yes, it actually did. We had 1 or 2 days in there when it wasn't. But look where it comes. Again, it came right here and another limb is gone. Today is the 12th of May, and we have graduations ahead of us, several of them. And I had my angiogram done Tuesday. I'm back and doing well, and they only found a 30% blockage, which they didn't have to do anything for, so I'm almost good to go again. I still have to take it easy and not lift anything too heavy for a while. So but I wanted to show you when I came back, the garden was in full bloom. This is one of my favorite times in the garden, even though I don't have things as neat as I would like to have them when I show them to you. But sometimes you know, and you've seen it anyway, that the garden is just not neat. But there's so much going on in it, so much green, so much bloom. And right now, one of my favorite times in the garden is when the roses and peonies are both in bloom. And I just love those flowers and love that they show off so beautifully. Oh, and before I get too far in, I must tell you also that God watered for me. He watered for me the night I came back from my surgery. And it was a rough day on the plants, though. It was windy. It's still windy and hot. We've had several windy, hot days, and it's right when the plants are new and getting started. So it wasn't good for them that there's so much beauty here, and just the fact that God watered for me right when I needed it the most. We got another ½ inch. So mainly I wanted to show you the roses and peonies, but I just have to show you the rest of this as we go because it's just so green and pretty. And look at this little pot showing off today. You can even see that these little impatiens are filling out somewhat. They may be small, but they will be beautiful if they just live, and I'm hoping that they will. Since I found that Amdro that helps me get rid of or keep them at bay, the snails from eating them up. They used to just come out here and get my these two, but mostly impatiens. They love the impatiens because they have that little thick watery stem that I'm sure they're just thinking, oh, how juicy, how good. It's probably like a strawberry to them. So my friend Susie had admired this beautiful little Dracea plant, and so I stopped and got her one of these on my way home from the hospital, and we had a good little visit and got to see my Christian mom, Hattie. She was just the one that encouraged me so when I was a teenager and just gave me Christian love and mentoring, and I'll always appreciate her for that. This is my time, and it looked so good when I put it there, and it looks so terrible now, but I'm still having hope for it. As long as I can see any green, I'm hoping. And this is what I wanted to show you, the beautiful peonies. So many of them are open and just really showing off and looking wonderful. These little roses are also opening up and looking good. And look at this lovely rose. I can smell it even. It smells so good. I wish you could smell it too. This was called Almost Black, but I would call it Almost Red. It's a beautiful red. And the yellow iris are blooming. I always think red and yellow together is such a beautiful standout. We even have larkspur in bloom. And look at the roses in bloom back here. I'm just going to go on around a little bit simply because there are so many pretty roses blooming. Just even from the gate you can look out and see them. And I'm going to try to walk out there and get closer up too. And then more peonies in bloom. And this beautiful coral, I told you before, it was trying to go back to its old color. And it probably will. I doubt if I can stop it from it. I've been trying every year by clipping all these off, and I will try to do that again, but eventually it's going to go back. It's just taking it over too quickly. I thought I saw some little downy feathers over in this area where our little redbird family is, but I'm not going to try to scare them away. I can see her little tail. I don't know if I've got it where you can see it there, but there is one, so I'm going to try to leave her alone right now, but I'm pretty sure she has babies up there. This little peony is blooming. This clematis opened up. And this little rose is just looking great. It came up there a lot higher than I suspected that it would. It's probably covering my trellis almost totally up. So pretty. And this little rose is looking good too. As is this little single rose. So far, so good on my little idea to put this beautiful blue lobelia and this yellow and white calabachoa together. It's looking so good. We'll see how long it will last. And I'm noticing that this little pink bacopa is looking good this morning with lots of pretty bloom on there. And I've got another calabachoa that I also got at that little nursery not too far from where I go to the heart hospital. So I'm going to put it in here with this. It's pink. It's a brighter pink, but I think they will play prettily with each other. Let's see, this little rose is also opened and looking good. I also purchased another of these pretty little mint green licorice plants. More peonies opened up. Lots of pots I still don't have planted, but as soon as I get to where I can lift everything and get busy again, I plan to do as much of that as I can get done. Remember when there was just one of these and I told you it would probably fill this out? You can tell that it probably will fill this out. Before, when I said that, you probably were wondering if I was being a little over optimistic, but you can tell now that it is. Even some of these that I didn't think would live are showing signs of life. This is the Chinese dunce cap. It's so pretty. I also purchased another little hens and chicks. I might need to raise that up a little bit. It seems like it's setting too far down in the ground. I don't want it to get too wet and be soggy, but it's looking good. It was so pretty with them all around this little one that just had all these little ones around it. And I also was able to get Susie a red one. She hadn't had a red one that I saw, and so I got her one, and this one that she gave me, get it in focus well enough that you can see, is looking so good. This is actually a little charmer for a peony color too, but it's not looking so good because it opened up right in that heat and wind, and it's not looking as well as I would like for it to. This artemisia or wormwood is looking great. I so need to get a little piece of that started in another pot. I hope I still am able to do that. And this little pot is looking good this morning too. Got a wind. I think it destroyed my little verbena that I had in here, so I'll probably have to purchase another one for there. But you can tell these periwinkle are taking it pretty much in stride. Get these beauties. I believe this one is its own root rose, as is this one. So hopefully these won't go ahead and turn back, and I'm going to someday, Lord willing, and I have time and health to do so, I do plan to change out a bunch of these old roses that went back to the other color and get on root roses for them. But for right now, I'm just going to enjoy these beautiful old red roses. I'm amazed at how well these little calabachoa are doing. I just wish they would continue on and look this well right up to the end of their season. I'm also noticing that my black and blue salvia is not coming back. It's a more tender perennial, and it only comes back if we don't get too hard of freeze in the winter time. And look at these beautiful clematis here. I don't know if they're showing as dark as they really are, but they're so dark and so pretty. But I was thinking about, I'm going to change out my black and blue salvia. As much as I love it, there's other plants I love just as much, and I'm going to use those and stop trying to keep things that I just don't really have a whole lot of luck with, even though I do love them. And the butterfly, the butterflies probably love them too, but I know the hummingbirds do, so I may be tempted to get another one of them. But I think I can find a different salvia that will be just as pretty and be more likely to come back for me. I thought perhaps this row would be full of peonies too, but I only see a couple that are blooming, but they're pretty. But I would say, even though I've had some sidetracks this spring for sure, that God has been good to me, and I'm thankful for everything He's allowed me to do, and even to make it through, and just everything He does, everything He is. Give Him praise. Since she left it for a minute, I'm going to see if I can see them. We're going to peek in. Oh, look at that. Can you see that little one poking its head up? And you can hear that mama. She's not liking that we're over here. So I'm going to pull back and try not to make her too upset. Oh, look at these pretty Sweet William. I forgot to point that out to you, that I have Sweet William in bloom everywhere. This is a wonderful time to be in the garden. We could have done without the heat and the wind, but this is a wonderful time of bloom in the garden. So my friend Alma got me this little tattoo periwinkle, and she said I probably didn't have one like it because it's relatively new, but of course I've already shown you that that's the one I picked out too. But this place right over here is just a little empty, and I'm thinking it would be a wonderful spot to put that extra little periwinkle and make it shine all the more. And look at this beautiful yellow petunia, how filled out and pretty it is today. And this little calabrichoa is pretty today also. And my pink roses are doing great right here. And when they kind of go away, there will be red ones coming on strong over on the other side. They're actually coming on now. Let me get up here where you can see. But these are the red knockout roses is what these are called. And they normally, and probably will, just feel this so full of bloom. But this little pink one is not doing bad itself this year. It's got quite a bit of beautiful bloom on there. And the little cup or hanging down clematis or clematis is in bloom. And this pretty little clematis is blooming. And I just saw that my salvia is blooming here. I guess April showers really do bring May flowers, only we missed the April showers, but luckily we got an inch. We got a ½ inch recently, and then another ½ inch on Tuesday night. And today is Thursday. My husband got out early this morning and took this little peach tree the rest of the way off. It's gone, so we're going to miss this part of it. There's only one little part left, and who knows if it will make it, but we will try. We will see. Can you see this little red cardinal? I think this is the daddy to those babies we just looked at. cardinals are the most wonderful gentlemen birds ever, I believe. They absolutely take care of their little companion. He brings her food in his beak and feeds her. And I saw him climbing into the nest when she was away from him for a few minutes to get her a drink. He was taking care of them for her. Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.